Hello ladies and gentlemen, Scare204 here bringing you another Minecraft Modern Warfare BAFTA build tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the USS New York San Antonio-Class Amphibious Transport Dock. The San Antonio-Class is a class of amphibious transport docks known as Landing Platform Dock, LPD, used by the United States Navy. These warships replace the Austin-class LPDs, as well as the Newport-class tank landing ships, the Anchorage-class dock landing ships, and the Charleston-class amphibious cargo ships that have already been retired. 12 ships of the San Antonio-class were originally proposed. Their original target price was $890 million USD. As built, their average cost is $1.6 billion. Defense authorization for the fiscal year 2015 included partial funding for the 12th San Antonio-class ship. As of December 2022, 11 warships of this class were in service with the U.S. Navy, with an additional 3 ships under construction. The Navy decided in 2018 to produce a second flight of 13 planned LPD Flight 2 ships for a total of 26 in the LPD-17 class and LPD-30. Harrisburg is the first Flight 2 ship. So, really cool stuff here for this ship. It's a very iconic ship and becoming one of the most prominent, I guess, amphibious assault ships really out there, alongside that of the Wasp or the America class. It's a really cool looking ship and extremely modern for what it is, and just a overall really cool design. And yeah, so really fun to build this build and finally get this out there. We've been building a lot of the American modern carriers. If they built it, we've probably made it. So we have a bunch of those, and we're continuing to come out with more ones. So definitely, if you're a fan of the American modern ship or navy, you're definitely getting a lot of cool ships. But this right here, obviously really cool stuff, and all that. Now, before we go and jump in and take a look at this build, I do want to go ahead and give big thanks to Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible through commissioning it. If you are interested in commissioning a build of your own, definitely feel free to reach out to me on my Discord server, which is linked in the video description, or by email. My email is garrett2before@gmail.com, or can be found on my About section on my channel, where you can go ahead and contact me. We can discuss pricing and all that stuff, and get you a commission built for you. So definitely a cool way to get your builds built. I have a ton of requests, probably at least 500 requests from people in the Discord server alone. So if you want to prioritize your requests, commissioning is definitely the best way to go. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here and take a look at the USS New York. So the USS New York is pretty cool. It's kind of also known for one of the most famous ships in this class, I would say, mainly because it does actually have steel from the World Trade Center that is actually built into the ship, forged into it. So pretty cool stuff with that, just to kind of throw in that little bit of history of New York and that, terrorist attacks, obviously, in 9/11. But yeah, the front of the ship here, it has a little support gun from what it looks like. A little automated gun, and then we have our bridge located in here. It's a very modernized ship with its mast kind of fully enclosed, which is kind of unique for this class of ship. We have the first kind of exhaust or funnel, and just a lot of the detail in here, a lot of the different radars and different instruments located here. Right here we have the mid-deck section, which can deploy a bunch of the kind of inflatable little dinghies or little boats and stuff like that. And it also has this really kind of cool modernized crane that's like encased in the ship. It's kind of cool looking. We then have the rear mast tower, and then on the back here again we have another one of those support guns, and then we also have a rocket launching system, same thing up on the front there as well, and then their funnel. And then back here is your helicopter dock. Can support about 2 helicopters. I think I want to say it's 2 Seahawks, or sorry, 4 Seahawks, and then 2 Ospreys depending on the mission set, so it could support that many. It's also got a little hangar dock in there. What's kind of cool about this ship also is I included the symbol it has. It has the symbol of the Twin Towers, and then some kind of little crest in front of it, or the silhouettes of the Twin Towers, I should say. So I went ahead and included that on the ship, which I think really makes it, really unique for this being the USS New York. So really cool stuff with that. Really happy to build this ship and get it out there for you all to enjoy. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and move into our first layer here, we will be going ahead and start with layer 1. Before we go and do that though, I do want to go and talk about positioning this in the water. If you do want to position this ship in the water, you will want to make sure you build this a certain height in the water. So you can see the blue line of blue concrete here is representing that water level. So layer 1 here is going to sit 1 block below that water level. So just make sure you have that all squared away and good to go to make sure your ship sits properly in the water. Now once you have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a red nether brick top slab, and then we're going to place down a acacia wood trapdoor. Now this top slab is again a top slab, so on that top portion of the block. So if you look at it from the side here, you can see it looks like that. Very important to make sure it sits on the bottom of our hull properly. But we have the trapdoor, and then we have this top slab. We're going to go ahead and go back from this top slab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Went a little too far. 27 is the amount we're going to go back. And in total, overall, we should have 28 red nether brick top slabs. And that's going to bring us down the center. And we're going to go ahead and place down 2 more acacia wood trapdoors. On the side of these 2 red nether brick top slabs here, we're going to place down acacia wood trapdoors to both sides, and then taking our red nether brick top slabs, we're going to go ahead and go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then an acacia wood trapdoor here, and we're going to do the same thing over on the other side, like this. So just like that, and we have that set up so far. Now we're going to go and then go to the second to last trapdoor, or top slab here. We're going to place down an acacia wood trapdoor and then go forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trapdoors forward, and then over here we're going to do the same thing. So just like that. Then we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some acacia wood signs, and we're going to go ahead and go to the third trapdoor from the front. We're going to place down an acacia wood sign, and we're going to go ahead and run this all the way along the side here of these trapdoors. And we're going to stop on our 4th from last trapdoor right here. So it should look like this, and we have a total of 10 signs in length. And we're going to go and just do the same thing over here. So again, starting on that 3rd from front, and we're just going to run these signs all the way along the side here of the ship. Obviously not putting any lettering on them. And make sure you do place them on the side of the trapdoors and not on top of them. So just like that, and we have both sides done. Bit of a tedious process, but once you have that all done, you're pretty much good to go with that. That's going to conclude everything we have for this layer. Again, here is a top-down view of what it looks like. Really straightforward and simple stuff there. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Alright guys, so going ahead and move into our next layer, we have layer 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a red concrete block that's going to sit on top of this red nether brick top slab, and then a red nether brick top slab, or rather half slab, sorry, on top of this trap door. We're going to go ahead and place down an acacia wood sign on both sides of this block, like this. And we're going to go ahead and build back an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 red concrete blocks. We're going to place down an acacia wood trapdoor to both sides of this block. And we're going to go ahead and place down 2 red stained glass panes that go back from the trapdoor, as well as a red nether brick wall on both sides of these red stained glass panes. We're going to place down another row of 3 of red concrete, then a second row of 3, and then a third row, 4, and 5. So you have that going all the way across there. We're going to place down a red nether brick wall on both sides on the end back, or the back here, and then 2 red stained glass panes going forward, and then we're going to place down an acacia wood trapdoor on both sides of these red concrete blocks like that. We're going to take our red concrete, and we're going to go ahead and run a row back from this wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And we're going to do the same thing over here as well. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in the space between the last row here. The inside here you don't have to fill in. I'm going to fill it in personally just because I like building these ships completely solid. I don't like leaving the empty spaces in them, but that's just me and my OCD. You're more than welcome to leave that open, as you don't need to fill that in. We're going to go ahead and place down another row of 5, or sorry, a row of 3, this time of red concrete, and then a second row of 3 and a third row. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some red nether brick stairs. We're going to place down 2 red nether brick stairs on the sides upside down, and then 2 red nether brick top slabs back like that. We're also going to place down a red nether brick top slab here on the insides, and then a red concrete block in the middle there, like so. And we're going to go back down the middle here, 1, 2, 3 blocks. So you have a total of 4 sticking out. And then we're going to take our red nether brick top slabs. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 along the sides here, 1, 2, 3. We also want to go ahead and place down 2 lightning rods that are going to come off these red nether brick slabs. And then an acacia wood trapdoor here opened up toward this slab like that on both sides. We're going to go ahead and also place down a birchwood slab coming off those fence gates like so. And then we're going to place down an upside down red nether brick stair and red nether brick top slab down the center with acacia wood trapdoors to both sides. After that is all done there, we want to go ahead and then place down a red stained glass pane that's going to go back from the slab here. And then we want to place down a red nether brick wall going back from that glass pane. Now in the middle space here, we're just going to go and take our acacia wood trapdoors. We're going to place down a row of 3. And then we want to place down a row of 5 across. Just like that. And that's going to finish that off like so. Alright guys, so before we go ahead and carry on, I did make a mistake here and I want to go ahead and correct this real quick. We're going to go ahead and move this row of red, or these acacia wood trap doors back 1 like this. So another row of 5 on the back here. We're going to delete the ones on both sides here, move our red nether brick walls back, and also our red stained glass panes. So it's just going to kind of scoot that back. We're going to place down our birch slab here. And then we're going to go ahead and place down our acacia wood fence gate, again opened up toward these slabs. And then we're going to place down our lightning rod here instead of that fence gate. And then we're going to delete this first end rod and place down a red nether brick top slab to both sides like that. And that right there will basically fix the mistake we had. And also this red nether brick top slab here is going to be a red concrete block. So just go make those quick adjustments. I do apologize for completely butchering that, but everything should look like this so far, and here is a top-down view of what that should look like. So once those changes are made and you make those fixes, everything is good to go and we're all cleared up. We do want to go ahead and go to this section here. So on this red concrete block right above where that first sign is, we're going to go ahead and place down a acacia wood trapdoor on the side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All on the side here, and we're going to do the same thing over here as well. So again, you're just running the same thing on both sides here, and that will basically finish that off there for both sides of the hall. Anyways though, that is going to conclude everything we have for layer number 2. Apologize for the little mistakes I made there. Let's move on to layer 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to get started with here, we're going to place down our light gray stainless paint on top of this block here, and we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 stone blocks back from that. We're going to place down an andesite wall to both sides of the stone block, then a light gray stained glass pane going forward from that. We're going to take our stone blocks, we're going to place down a row of 3 across, a second row of 3, then a third, 4, and 5. We're going to place down an andesite wall to both sides of the stone blocks here, 2 light gray stained glass panes going forward, and then we're going to place down an iron trap door if you're on Java. Now, on Java, we can use the command /give space @p space Minecraft :debug_stick. So this command right here, and press enter will give you this glowing stick. What you can do is you can left click the trapdoor with your stick until you get selected open false. We'll right click that, set that to true, and it will set the trapdoor flat against the side of the block. So really useful for helping us kind of shape the hole a little bit. Again, you don't have to include these. It's not really a complete necessary requirement, but I would recommend it. It does help if you can. Alternative to this would also be a birchwood trapdoor if you unfortunately do not have the ability to do the iron trapdoor trick on Java. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our stone blocks, and we're going to go ahead and build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And actually, we're going to go and do one less, so you have 29, and then the stone brick block. And we're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3, 4 stone brick blocks over, so you have a total of 5. And we're going to do the same thing for stone, running it all the way up here to the front of the build. So just like that till we connect up to that wall. On the back here, we can also go ahead and take our red concrete, and just to cover up those acacia wood trapdoors, we can go and cover that with red concrete just to kind of keep the red color a little bit more consistent on the bottom. Granted, this will be in the water, the draft section, so not really too worried about it. And then for me, again, I like to fill this in with stone. Again, it's not needed, but it's something I like to do, and I think it just kind of makes every layer a little bit more easier to do, and everything I already showed you how to do is the bare minimum you would need to make sure that the layer is completely enclosed for this layer. So again, we have that completely filled in like that. Now, once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and go to the second and third stone blocks here on the sides from this outer row, and we're going to place down our iron trapdoors and use the same technique that we used before. We're going to go ahead and take our glass panes, and we're going to go ahead and run our light gray stainless panes all the way along the side of the ship, all the way back. So like this, and we're going to go ahead and then wrap it around. It's going to go across the stone brick, and all the way across this side as well. So just like that, and that brings us all the way back up to the front and connects us up. That is everything we have there for layer number 3 of the build. Here is a top-down view of what it should look like, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 4. For layer 4 to start with, we're going to place down a stone block here, and then we're going to place down 1 and 2 more stone blocks back. We're going to place down a stone upside down stair to both sides of this second stone block, and then we want to go ahead and then place down a andesite wall going back from that stair. We're going to go ahead and then take our stone blocks. We're going to place down a row of 3 of stone blocks across, then a second row of 3. We have 3, 4, and 5, so 5 rows in total. An andesite wall to both sides of this last row here, and then 2 light gray stainless panes going forward from that, and again an iron trapdoor or birchwood trapdoor, whichever you have, and again the iron trapdoors will use our debug stick. We're going to then go back from the andesite wall here with our stone, and again we're going to run a row of stone all the way along the side here of the ship, following our previous row all the way to the back here. And for this right here, we're going to then build it actually on top of the stone brick as well. We're going to build this across the stone brick and bring us to this other side, and we're going to do the same thing, just bring your stone all the way up to the front of the ship. So right there until we connect up to that wall, and we are pretty much good to go. Now once we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then grab our iron trapdoors, and we're going to place down a trapdoor on the sides of the second block from front. Again, use your debug stick there to close it. We're going to take our light gray stainless panes. We're going to build back a total of 4. And then we're going to go ahead and take our andesite walls. And we're going to build andesite walls all the way along the side here and to the back. So it's like this, and it's going to go on top of this wall right here. And we're going to do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our andesite walls. Like that, and on top of that last glass pane. And then we want to take our stone brick walls, and we're just going to place down a row of 5 of stone brick across that middle space there to finish it off. After that's all done, again, you can go ahead and fill the inside in here. So I'll just go ahead and use a command to fill this in real quick. So real simple, boom, have that all filled in. And this right here is what it should look like from the top-down view. And that is going to include everything we have for layer 4. Let's go ahead and move on to layer number 5. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to start with, we're going to place down a stone block on top of this one here, and then a light gray stainless pane coming off it going forward. We then want to go ahead and place down 2 light gray concrete blocks going back from that stone block, and we're also going to place down a light gray stainless pane on both sides of the stone block to the sides here. We're going to go then place down an andesite wall going back from those glass panes, as well as a stone block on both sides of that light gray concrete. We then want to go ahead and place down a gray wool block in the center, and then a stone block to both sides. We're going to go ahead and then place down another stone block to both sides and another gray wool block in the center. At this point here, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of gray wool across, and then a second row of 3 right behind that. On the sides of these rows of 3, we're going to place down 2 andesite walls, and then we're going to go and take our light gray stainless panes and then place down 2 light gray stainless panes forward of those andesite walls. Going back from the andesite walls, we're going to go and take our stone, and we're going to build back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks back, and we're going to do the same thing over here. And so we have 9 blocks going back from those walls. Again, I'm going to go ahead and fill this space in here. This space isn't completely necessary to fill in, as it won't be visible from the outside, but again, I'm going to fill that in like that. This section, however, we're going to go ahead and place down 4 rows of 5 of our gray wool. And this is going to go ahead and go across here. This will be visible for this mid-deck section, so you will need to place that gray wool. We're going to go ahead and continue on back with our stone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stone blocks, and again 8 back on the sides. We'll go ahead and just fill this in across the middle here, fill in this space completely. Now at this point in time, we're going to go ahead and then take our gray wool, and we're going to continue back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gray wool, and same thing over here. Just like that, and we're going to go ahead and then take our stone brick, and we're going to place down a row of 5 of stone brick across the back here. We then need to fill this whole section in right here with gray wool. This will need to be filled in as this is going to be part of our flight deck. So we'll fill this in completely. Then when it comes to the sides here, we're going to go ahead and take our andesite walls going back up to the front. We're going to place down an iron trapdoor on the second stone block. Going back, and again we'll close that like that. Again, we're going to go and take our light gray stainless panes. We're going to place down 2 glass panes back. And then we're going to take our andesite walls and we're going to build a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 walls back. And same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some stone brick stairs. We're going to place down 2 stone brick stairs on the sides here of these first gray wool blocks for the back. We will also need to go ahead and grab ourselves some item frames and some white beds, and if you're on Java, some birchwood signs. We're going to place down item frames on the front here of the stairs, and then we're going to place down white beds sideways in those item frames, and then birchwood signs if you're on Java. Only on Java can you place down item frames and signs in the same block space, so if you are not on Java, you would have to just place down the item frames, which is really no big deal. It's not that big of a difference. We're going to go then place down a stone upside down stair to both sides. This will have a birchwood sign on that stair. Then we want to place down a total of 1, 2, 3 stone brick stairs back, and again we're going to place down 3 birchwood signs on the front of those stairs. Same thing over here. So just like that. Then we're going to place down another stone brick upside down stair to both sides, as well as another birchwood sign on the front of the stair. We're going to place down a normal stone brick stair, and then a birchwood sign on the sides there. And then another stone brick upside down stair to both sides, another birchwood sign on the front of the stair. And then we're going to go and grab our andesite walls and just place down 3 back. So just like that. And once you have that all done right there, that is going to complete everything we have here for layer number 5 of the build. So we have pretty much the whole of the ship all done. We're going to be now going ahead and transitioning up into the superstructure section. So this is what we should have for the top-down view. Again, everywhere you see that dark gray is going to need to be placed. You will need to make sure you have that dark gray because that will be areas visible from the outside of the ship. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to start with, we're going to place down an end rod on top of this glass pane here, and then an iron bar on top of it just to finish that off. We're going to go and then place down a redstone repeater right here, separate the notches from each other, and then we're going to place down 2 redstone dusts down the center, as well as another redstone repeater with the notches spread apart. We're also going to place down a flower pot to both sides of that repeater, and then we're also going to place down repeaters here in these sections, with the notches spread apart from each other as well. Once you have that all done, we're going to go ahead and then place down an andesite wall here on top of these ones, and then one right there in the center as well. We'll take our stone blocks and just place down a row of 5 stone blocks across behind those. Now, once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some gray carpet, and we're going to place down gray carpet on top of this wall here, and this stone block. Same thing will be done over here on this side as well. And we also want to go and take our birchwood sign and just place it on the sides here of this wall as well. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down another row of 5 of stone across. On these 2 rows of 5, we're going to place down item frames on the sides, and in those item frames, we're going to place down gray beds, like so. And again, if you're on Java, we'll do the extra detail of putting some birchwood signs on the side of those blocks as well. So, same thing on both sides there. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down another row of 5, so you have 3 rows of 5, then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So going all the way across here. On the sides here, after those item frames, we're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors, and again, we'll use our debug stick here to close those. You can also, again, substitute those out for birchwood. And then taking our light gray stainless panes, we're going to place down a total of 5 glass panes back from those iron trapdoors. Once we get to this point here, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone block to both sides here. And we then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some birchwood fence gates. And we're going to place down a fence gate like this in the center and a fence gate to both sides. These ones on the sides, we're going to open up toward the center fence gate. So it's going to look like this. Then we want to go ahead and place down a smooth quartz block here in the center. And we're going to go ahead and also place down a gray bed. Now the gray bed's not going to be completely centered. You're just going to have to pick a side. It doesn't really matter which side you put it on. For me, I'll just put it over here. So it's going to be a little off center. So just make sure that you have that. And then we're going to go ahead and place down another set of birchwood fence gates. So we have a fence gate here. Both sides, again, opened up toward that middle fence gate. Just like that. And we'll also go ahead and take iron trapdoors. Place down an iron trapdoor here to both sides right there, and we're going to go ahead and then close them like that for debug stick. Again, you can use birchwood trapdoors as an alternative. And then we just want to go ahead and take some skeleton skulls, and with the faces facing toward the middle of the ship, we're going to place down 4 skeleton skulls here along the sides. So just like that, and that's going to create that mid-deck section. We're going to take our stone, we're going to place down another row of 5 of stone across, then a second row, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we want to go and then take our stone brick. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 stone brick across this space, and then a stone block to both sides like that. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves some light gray stained glass panes, and along the side here of those stone blocks, we're going to go ahead and just place down a row of light gray stained glass panes all the way along the side of that row like that. After that's all done, we're going to go and then take iron trapdoors. We're going to place them on top of the stone brick ups and downstairs on the sides here of the flight deck. And then for the flight deck itself, we'll go ahead and get started with the detailing here. We're going to start off by going ahead and place down a white carpet here in the 2 corners, and then we're going to go and basically angle this and basically form an X. So we're going to angle this out to the sides and basically, again, create just a giant X. We're going to place down buttons here around that center one, so it's going to kind of create that circular shape. And then along the sides here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 1, 2 going back, and we're going to go ahead and set up the same X. So we have basically our starts there in the sides, and again we're just going to go ahead and do these diagonal and form another X. And again we'll take our birchwood buttons and wrap them around the center, but we will not do them on the sides. And we're going to go ahead and also take our gray carpet and just place them on top of these blocks. If you're also a little OCD, you can go ahead and place down gray carpet on the remaining gray carpet just to cover it up, keep the flight deck a little bit more of a consistent level instead of having all these dips and raises and stuff like that. It's not perfect, but it works a little bit in helping the flight deck, sit a little bit more proper, have it all at the same level. But yeah, that right there is what it should look like there with the flight deck markings all complete. And with that all done there, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to start with, we're going to take our stone blocks. We're going to place down a row of 5 right behind that first row there up here in the front. We're going to go ahead and place down a grindstone. That's going to be on the left side stone block here, on the left side only. And then we're going to go ahead and place down a light gray stained glass pane next to it, a stone block here in the center, another light gray stained glass pane, and then the andesite wall on the other side. So it's going to look like that on the front. It is supposed to be asymmetrical. Now after that's done, we're going to go ahead and take our stone blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down a second row of 5, and then a third, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8 rows like that going back. On the sides here, we're going to go ahead and place down levers on these first 2 rows to the sides. And then on the 4th block from the front, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor, and we're going to place down 4 more back, so you have a total of 5 there. So just like that, and we're going to go ahead and then close them with our debug stick. So it's going to look like that on both sides. After that's all done, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block again to both sides here. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a gray bed that's going to sit on top of these fence gates. Again, it's going to be off-center no matter what you do, so just basically pick a side and put it in. And then we're going to go ahead and take our polished black stone slabs, and we're just going to place down a row of 3 across these fence gates in this section here. We then want to go ahead and place down a section of our row of 3 iron trapdoors. Again, we'll use our debug stick here to close those like so. Again, you can use birchwood trapdoors as an alternative to the iron trapdoors used here. Then we're going to place down a row of stone. That's going to go across this space here. And we're going to place down a second. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 it's going to be 7 solid rows, and then this last row here is going to be a stone block to both sides. And then we want to place down 2 stone brick blocks here, and then a stone block on this side. So it's going to be a little offset like that for the back hanger. Now we're going to go ahead and take our item frames. We're going to place down 1, 2, skip a block, 1, 2, and we're going to place down gray beds in those item frames. And we're also going to go and take a birchwood sign. And again, for my Java players, we'll place it on the side there of those blocks like that. And same thing will be done over here on this side as well. So just like that. Then we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on the remaining spaces here. And we'll go ahead and close those. Again, birchwood trapdoors as an alternative. And same thing over here. And make sure those are closed like that. Now, once that's all done, we have some banners on the back of the ship here. These are pretty straightforward. The first banners, they're going to be basically these light gray banners with a white line going through the center, just to mimic the stripes for the deck. This line right here that kind of goes up and actually into the superstructure a little bit. So that's what that is right there. And then we have the actual symbol or the crest of the ship that's on the back doors. I'm going to go and grab the materials and I'll show you guys how to make that one in a loom. Alright guys, for that rear banner, it's really straightforward. Again, this is going to be specific to the New York only, so if you're building another ship of the San Antonio class, you do not want to include this, as this is again specific only to the New York. But since we're building the New York specifically, that is why we are including the crest we are. We're going to go into our loom, we're going to open it up, we have our light gray banner, we're going to place our light gray banner in the loom as well as our black die. We're going to do a line that goes vertically on the left side of the banner here, and then a line that goes vertically on the right side of the other banner with our other die. We're going to go and take this banner design, put it back into our loom with our light gray die. We're going to do a line that goes across the bottom third of the banner like that. And then we're going to go and do a line that goes, or the border that goes around it like that to create these two thinner lines. That's our first, that's that done. And the last thing we need to do is put our banner back in the loom with our red die, and we're just going to do a red dot in the center there. And that's all you need to do to make this banner, and it just goes on this stone brick block right there. So really simple, and then you have the crest of the ship on it. So that right there is pretty much about it for layer 7 of the build, and with that we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 8. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 8. For layer 8, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to take our stone blocks, we're going to place down a row of 5 across this space here with a birchwood button to the sides there. We're also going to place down a polished andesite slab here in the center, and then an end rod coming off like that for that front gun. After that's done, we want to go ahead and then take our stone blocks, and we're going to place down a row of 5 right behind that first row, so you have a second row. And then on the sides here, we're going to place down a stone brick slab, and then a gray carpet in front of it. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a third row of 5, then a fourth, fifth, 6, 7, and 8. So you have 8 rows of 5 going across there. After that is all done, we want to go ahead and then place down a stone block on the left side of the ship, right here in this section, and then we're going to place down item frames around this block, and we're going to go ahead and then place down black beds in those item frames. And again, if you're on Java, we'll take our birchwood signs and add them to the sides there, like so as well. And that's going to be the operator position for the crane. And then we're just going to place down a gray carpet on top of this stone block. So real simple there. Then after that, we're going to place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks across this space here. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a light gray stainless pane to the sides there. One quick thing I do want to go ahead and adjust here is we actually want to go ahead and fill in this middle section in here with gray wool. So anywhere we can on the inside here of this forward superstructure, we want to go ahead and put some of that gray wool in. So we're going to have something that looks like that there instead. Then after that, we were going to go ahead and then go back from the glass panes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone blocks, and the same thing over here on this side. And then we're just going to go ahead and place down 3 across to close the space in. We then want to place down an item frame on both corners here. And in those item frames, we're going to place down black beds, turn them sideways, like so. And we're going to go ahead and place down birchwood signs again if you're on Java. And then lastly, we're just going to go and take some tripwire hooks and place down 2 tripwire hooks here on the back, like that above that main hanger. Again, the inside in right here, we're just going to fill in with gray wool wherever we can. So just fully close that off, just like that. And once we have that all done there, that's going to wrap up everything we have for that. And that will take us up into our next layer, which will be layer number 9. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 9. Layer 9 here is going to be pretty much our last big layer. We do have quite a bit to do in this one, but after that we have this layer done. We're pretty much really done with the ship, honestly. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with this. We're going to start off by going ahead and placing down a row of 5 of pistons. If you are not on Java, instead of the pistons, I would recommend going ahead and using using like stone full blocks as an alternative. You'll see why here in a second. But then we're going to go ahead and also place down a piston going back on the sides there. We're going to go ahead and place down a stone block here like that, and then we're going to place down a andesite wall to the sides there of that stone block. Now once that's all finished there, we're going to go ahead and also grab ourselves some dark oak wood trapdoors, and we're going to place down dark oak wood trapdoors on the sides here of the ship. And we then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some birchwood signs, and we're going to place down a birchwood sign here and on the side of these two trapdoors. So same thing over here, like that. And then across the pistons here, we're going to place down item frames and then black beds sideways in those item frames all the way across for the bridge. And then again, if you're on Java, we'll place our birchwood signs across the front there as well. Now, once that's all done, also on top of this section here, we're going to place down an end rod to both sides there, and then a flower pot on top of that middle one, like that for some of the instruments above the bridge. Now, once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a skeleton skull that's going to sit at a slight angle like that going back from those trapdoors. Same thing will be done over here on this side as well. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone block on the right side here, 1, 2, 3 more blocks over, and on the left side, we're actually going to have a stone block as well. Then we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor to both sides. On the side of this trapdoor, we're going to have another item frame. And in that item frame, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a white bed. And we're going to turn that sideways, like so. And again, we're going to place down a birchwood sign on the side here of this trapdoor if you're on Java. In the middle space, we're going to place down a stone block and a side wall to both sides. And then we're going to build 2 more stone blocks down the center here. On the right side, we're going to place down a stone block. We're going to have our item frame and our white bed sideways on the side of that block, as well as our birchwood sign like that. And on the other side here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor, a item frame, and our white bed again on the side here with our birchwood sign. So it's going to look like that. Now, after that's done, we want to go ahead and then take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 2 stone blocks on the right side here, and then 3 dark oak wood trapdoors in this section. We'll take our birchwood signs and wrap them around these 3 trapdoors. On the other side here, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 dark oak wood trapdoors, but we're going to place down birchwood signs only on the outside. And we're also going to place down 2 dark oak wood trapdoors here, with again birchwood signs on the side here, like that. We're also going to place down a stone block in this spot right there, and that's going to basically set us up for this section. Now we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves a stone stair. We're going to place down a stone stair here, and then we have 1, 2, 3 andesite walls, and that's going to be your crane there. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row 3 of dark oak wood trapdoors, and we're going to go ahead and then place down 3 birchwood signs on those trapdoors. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a skeleton skull that's going to sit here on those glass panes in the corners, so like that. And we're going to go ahead and then go back from those with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trapdoors on the right side, and then a stone block like this. On the last 3 trapdoors here, we're going to have item frames with white bed sideways in them. And again, birchwood signs if you're on Java. And then we're going to have birchwood signs on the side of these, the rest of the trapdoors going forward. On the other side, it's going to be slightly different. We're going to place down a total of 4 trapdoors. So we have 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. And we're going to place down a birchwood sign on this first one. And then we're going to place down item frames on the next 2. And we're going to go ahead and turn these beds sideways in the item frames, and then place down birchwood signs on the side there again if you're on Java. Then taking our stone blocks, we're going to go ahead and just basically build back 4 stone blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. And then we were going to go ahead and set up our mast, which is going to be set up with basically a 3x3 square in this section. And then we're going to build another row of 4 stone right here, and then another row, so it looks like this here for the back. And then we just want to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor here, and a birchwood sign that's going to come off that trapdoor like that. Also, we're going to place down item frames on these 2 blocks here, and in those item frames, we're going to place down black beds facing upwards, and then we're going to place down birchwood signs again, if applicable. and that is going to be all we need to do there for that layer. So a little bit of a lot going on in this layer. There's quite a bit of stuff we're really doing, so just make sure you're getting everything transferred over properly. We'll also go ahead and take the time now, if you're on Java, to grab our debug stick, and we will go to these pistons. We'll left click them until we get selected extended false prompt, and then right click them to get rid of that wood portion. So it's going to look something like that there for the front, and that is all you need for that. Now, after that's all done, that's going to complete everything we have for layer number 9 of the build. With that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our last final layers to go ahead and finish off the rest of the build. Alright guys, moving into our final layers, we have layers 10 through 16. For these layers, to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and go to this section here. We're going to place down a stone block on top of this, and then we're going to place down a stone block to all 4 sides of it, and then andesite walls here in the corners, like that, to go ahead and get us started with our forward mass. We're going to go then build up 2 more stone blocks, again andesite walls on the sides of these blocks, and then we're going to place down light gray stainless panes in the corners between those walls, just like that. On the top here, we're going to place down a diorite wall, and we want to go ahead and then go to the sides of the diorite wall with 2 end rods, 2 each side, and then we're going to place down a skeleton skull on both sides here, and we want to make sure we point that face toward the inside. Then in the corners, we're going to go ahead and take flower pots and place down flower pots on the glass panes around the top here, like that, to go ahead and complete your forward mass. Behind that, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some skeleton skulls, and some snow blocks, and some diorite. We're going to place down a white concrete block on this block here, and on the other side, we're going to place down a skeleton skull like that. We're also going to place down a diorite wall here, and another white concrete block on top of this one. And we're also going to go ahead and place down a redstone repeater on this block, like that. Now, after that's done, we're going to place down a skeleton skull on top of this block here. And we're going to place down 2 more stone blocks on top of this section here with flower pots on top of the 2 blocks. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves a lever. We're going to place down a lever coming off this stone block. And then going up from the lever, we're going to place down 3 iron bars for an antenna. After that, we also want to go ahead and grab ourselves some barrier blocks, and we're going to go ahead and place down a barrier block that's going to be coming off the sides of this repeater. So we have 1 here, and 1 right over here. And we're going to place down a button on top of this one on the right side, the one on the left side, where we're going to place down a button on the top, and this side here. We're going to go ahead and then place down 2 more barrier blocks going up. They're going to come off these glass panes. This first one on the bottom here is going to have a button on the side. The one on top here is going to have a button on the 2 sides. So just like that. And that's pretty much what you want there for that. And we're also going to place down a lever here on that front barrier block like that to connect us up to those end rods. So that's going to be it for that forward section. And we're going to go ahead and then work our way here now to the back. Now for this back section here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a iron bar. And we're going to place down 3 iron bars that go up from the skeleton skull here for another antenna. We have our next mast, which is going to be a stone block in the center, and then again a stone block to the sides, and then an andesite wall in the corners. In the center, we're going to go ahead and go up 2 stone blocks, really actually 3, and then we're going to go ahead and place down andesite walls on the side of the first 2 blocks, and then we're going to place down light gray stainless panes in the corners of those walls. So like that. And then we're going to place down glass panes around the top stone block, just like that. Then a andesite wall on top, and then we're just going to place down a end rod, and then a flower pot like so to top it off, and that right there will create your rear mass. Now once that's done, we have the back section here, which is going to be started with a grindstone on top of this stone block for another little missile launcher. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 andesite walls here, a skeleton skull on top of the wall closest to the front, and then a iron trapdoor on this back one. Then to the side of it, we're going to place down a polished andesite slab, an end rod going back from the slab for another gun, and then 2 stone blocks like that. We're also going to place down 2 flower pots on top of these, and then we want to go ahead and do another radio or another antenna, which is going to be a stone or lever coming off the side here of the stone block, and then 1, 2, and 3 iron bars up. And lastly, we'll stick some gray carpet, and any stone blocks we can cover on top of this platform here, we're going to cover up with some gray carpet. Once we have that all done though, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layers 10 through 16, and that is going to conclude my tutorial here for the USS New York San Antonio class landing or amphibious transport dock, I should say. Hope you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask you guys to give me proper credit for it. This can be thanked from a son of the build tweet to my channel or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to for projects you guys are working on. Again, a big thanks to Derek Frost Westbrook for commissioning this build, and if you guys are interested in commissioning a build for yourself, definitely feel free to reach out to me on Discord or through my email and all that fun stuff. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gear 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.